Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awaken Your Freedom Show. Please subscribe to support our growing community. And welcome back to the deep dive. You know how we do it here. You share something interesting, and we dive deep. We pull out those key insights to help you get really well-informed fast.
Exactly. And today we're tackling, well, it's a fascinating little book one of you sent in, The Quantum Leap Strategy by Price Pritchett.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people listening can probably relate to what Pritchett's getting at.
Oh, definitely. That feeling, right?
Yeah.
You're putting in the work, you're consistent, but man, progress just feels so slow. Like you're wading through mud sometimes. Ever feel like that?
All the time. And Pritchett's argument is that this slow, linear progress, it often comes from just, well, misunderstanding how real breakthroughs happen.
He's not talking about just inching forward.
No, not at all. He's focused on something way bigger, those quantum leaps, he calls them, the kind that just shatter your limits and shoot you forward exponentially.
Right. So our mission today, really, is to unpack his core ideas. See how we can actually use this quantum leap thinking in our own lives, our own goals.
Think of it like skipping steps on the staircase. Or maybe just taking the elevator straight up.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of
Yeah.
that step-by-step climb.
And let's just dive right into the heart of it. Pritchett says, and this is a direct quote, "You don't get quantum leaps by doing more of what you're already doing. You get them by doing things differently." Okay, so what's really behind that?
Well, what's so striking is how it immediately challenges that, that work ethic idea that just more hours or more effort in the same direction equals bigger results.
Right.
He's saying sometimes the very things you rely on, those are actually holding you back. We think progress has to be linear, predictable.
But he just flips that completely. He says real, radical success. It's not about trying harder inside the same old box.
Yeah.
Quantum leaps happen when you shift your thinking, think way bigger, and, crucially, act bolder. Bolder than feels comfortable, probably.
Yeah, it's a total mindset shift. It's not just tweaking things, it's changing the whole game you're playing.
A fundamental recalibration, you could say.
And often, the biggest breakthroughs don't seem logical at the time. They seem kind of out of left field.
Right. They require trusting possibility over just, probability.
Exactly. You got to embrace that uncertainty.
And the classic example he uses Airbnb. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
3 broke guys renting out air mattresses. I mean, logically, in the hotel industry back then,
Yeah.
that idea was nothing. Maybe even laughable.
Totally unconventional. Any established chain would have just dismissed it, right? Impractical.
Small time. But it was a bold bet on a totally different way of doing things. They weren't just making hotels a bit better, they created a whole new category.
Trusting a different kind of demand, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our first kind of fresh insight here. If your goals don't scare you, even just a little bit, they're probably too small.
He's pushing you to play a game that actually stretches you, changes who you think you are.
So maybe a question for you listening. Do your goals feel comfortable, safe, achievable with what you're already doing?
If they do, maybe it's time to think about something that feels a little
Yeah.
impossible right now.
Okay, let's move to the next big idea. And this one can feel, well, pretty uncomfortable at first. Forget the how commit first.
Oh, yeah, this one really messes with how we usually operate, doesn't it?
Totally. We want the map. We want all the steps laid out. Guaranteed.
Certainty, right. But Pritchett says quantum leaps often need the opposite. You need that deep, unwavering commitment before you know how you'll actually pull it off.
It's like a leap of faith, really. Acting on conviction, not a detailed plan.
And he suggests that the act of committing, that actually starts to pull the how into focus when you absolutely have to make it work.
You find a way. You get resourceful in ways you didn't expect.
Exactly. Think about Elon Musk and SpaceX way back at the start.
Oh, yeah.
2002. He poured, $100 million of his own money into it?
Crazy money. And the idea of a private company landing rockets seemed impossible. No blueprint, no guarantee, huge uncertainty.
Massive. But his commitment was just absolute. And that sheer force of will, that commitment, it attracted talent, it forced innovation.
And they figured out the incredibly complex how along the way. The commitment came first.
Which leads to a kind of raw idea for you.
Yeah.
What if you stopped waiting for everything to be perfect? For total clarity? What if you just committed and let that commitment create the clarity you're looking for?
Heavy stuff. Okay, next one. This might sound a bit controversial. Don't prepare, just launch.
Yeah, that one definitely goes against the grain, doesn't it? Plan, prepare, research. That's what we're always told.
Right. Due diligence. But Pritchett has this line. He says, too much preparation is a form of procrastination.
Ooh, that hits home. The idea that polishing and planning forever can just be fear in disguise.
Yeah, fear of messing up, fear of judgment, maybe even fear of actually succeeding. We keep
Yeah.
tweaking, researching.
But it's just putting off the scary part, the part where you actually put it out there. Pritchett says momentum is key, more important than being perfect right at the start.
Just get going, even if it's messy.
And the Sarah Blakely story with
Gotcha.
Spanx, perfect example.
Oh, absolutely. No fashion background, right?
None. Googling manufacturers, cutting up pantyhose, just pitching it herself cold. Super messy action.
Can you imagine walking into those department store meetings, but that messy start, that action before she was ready?
That's what did it.
Yeah.
Self-made billionaire. She learned by doing, not by waiting until she knew everything.
So the insight here, start before you feel ready. Clarity comes from action, from the feedback you get when you actually do something.
Not just from planning in your head. Those real-world lessons are invaluable.
Okay, let's talk about something we all deal with, fear. Pritchett's take is interesting. He says fear is a normal leap anyway.
Yeah, and he even suggests fear might be a good sign. Like, it shows you're pushing boundaries, stepping out of the comfort zone.
Which is exactly where those quantum leaps happen.
Exactly. It's a powerful reframe. We usually see fear as stop, danger. But he's saying maybe it's a green light. Maybe it means you're onto something big.
He says, you're flying blind much of the time. That's part of the process.
Accepting that uncertainty is just part of it. You won't have all the answers, and that's okay.
The key is not letting the fear paralyze you.
Right. Think about Stephen Pressfield, the War of Art author.
Yeah.
17 years. 17 years of rejection before his first novel got published. Imagine the fear, the doubt.
Oh my gosh, 17 years. The urge to quit must have been overwhelming.
Totally. But he kept showing up, kept leaping, despite the fear.
Yeah.
And that built his whole career.
Wow. So the reframe here is don't wait for fear to vanish. Just bring it with you. Use it almost like fuel.
Yeah, acknowledge it, feel it, but leap anyway.
Okay, this next one challenges something we hear a lot about, balance. Pritchett says, for quantum leaps, forget balance, go all in.
Definitely pushes back against that idea of juggling everything perfectly all the time.
But his point is those huge exponential moves, they demand intense focus,
Yeah.
like laser focus. And that means, sacrifices in other areas, for a while anyway.
It's about putting all your energy into the one or two things that will actually make that leap happen.
Exactly. It's not that balance isn't good long term, but during that critical push, maybe not. Maybe balance comes after the leap.
Think of Oprah building her empire early on.
Right.
Do you think she was perfectly balancing everything, or was she completely obsessed with her mission, her show?
Totally obsessed, I bet. The focus was intense. Balance probably came much later, once things were established.
So the power insight is kind of blunt. If everything's a priority, nothing is. Focus becomes your superpower when you're aiming high.
Making those tough choices about where your energy goes.
Yeah. Okay, next idea. This one sounds a bit like manifesting, maybe, but he connects it to how our brains work. Act as if it's already yours.
So it's not just thinking positively.
No, it's more active than that. It's about embodying the identity. Acting like the person who has achieved the goal right now, not waiting.
Like Muhammad Ali, famously declaring, I am the greatest, way before he actually was champion.
Exactly. It wasn't hope. It was a present tense declaration. He was acting as if.
And the neuroscience connection is fascinating.
Right. When you consistently reinforce an identity through thoughts, words, actions, your brain literally starts wiring itself that way.
So if you want to be a CEO or an author or whatever, start acting like one today, thinking like one, making decisions like one.
Pretty much. Dress the part, take the actions, cultivate the mindset. You start becoming it.
Interesting. Okay, final principle. This kind of ties it all together. Trust the process, not the outcome.
Yeah, and he's upfront about it. Quantum leaps aren't entirely predictable or safe. There's risk involved.
You're stepping outside the controlled environment.
Totally. You'll hit roadblocks. Things will feel like failures. You'll have to pivot. It's messy.
But the potential growth, he argues, is just so much greater than if you just play it safe, stick to the predictable path.
So you have to let go of needing to control every single step, every single result.
And trust,
Right.
what? Trust yourself, your intuition.
Yeah, trust your ability to adapt. Trust your intuition. Trust that bold action will lead somewhere, even if it's not exactly where you planned.
And he brings it back to who you become, doesn't he?
That the real success isn't just the thing you achieve, but the person you have to become to get there, the growth through the journey itself.
So, wrapping this deep dive up, the big theme really isn't just strategy, is it? It feels like it's more about courage.
Absolutely. The
Oh.
courage to leap before you feel ready, the courage to fail, learn, and get back up fast, the courage to just live with that uncertainty for a bit.
Yeah. And Pritchett's point isn't work harder, it's almost the opposite in a weird way. Believe bigger, leap further, maybe with less grinding effort in the long run.
Right. Break free from that linear slog.
Yeah.
Embrace the leaps.
And he leaves us with that really powerful question to think about. Yeah.
What's the leap I'm resisting because I think it's impossible?
Wow. Definitely something to chew on. To close, please don't forget to subscribe on your favorite platform, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Spotify to stay sharp, and never miss a drop of knowledge that could change your financial life.
Yeah.
Thank you.